have an honest discussion about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is this team the worst team in the AFC North? Now, this team went into the offseason and they addressed every need. They addressed offensive line, they addressed secondary, and they also addressed the linebacker position by letting some guys go and bring some new guys in. So let's talk about it. It has been a talking point for a lot of people that the Pittsburgh Steelers may be the worst team in their own division. Now, one thing is for certain. Mike Tomlin is allergic to a losing season. This man has never had a losing season. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have bad season or bad games and bad game plans, because he does, but he is still one of the better coaches in all of football. I will say that. With that being said, this Pittsburgh Steelers team last season struggled in the first half of the season. Back half, they faced some lesser competition like the Atlanta Falcons, the Indianapolis Colts, and that's just to name a few, and also the Las Vegas Raiders. And Kenny Pickett, for the first half of the season when he came in, for when Mr. Trubisky were struggling, they just pulled a plug on the experiment and they put Kenny Pickett in. He struggled. But the back half of the season, he did look better. I will say that. And I'm a big Kenny Pickett guy. I believe that he will be a good quarterback moving forward. But in order for this team to make some serious noise in this division, or even being thought of being in the same discussion, making a playoff run, Kenny Pickett has to play like the first round pick that he is. When you look at this team from offense to defense, it is very interesting. Their defense is still the strongest point in this team, with guys like TJ Watt, missed majority of last season with a torn pec. But Alex Highsmith came in and he stepped up. Cameron Hayward also came in. He always steps up. Very good run defender. Very good at getting to the passer as well. So he's a good veteran to have on this team. And they've also drafted a defensive tackle from Wisconsin I like a lot as well, and Keanu Benton. He's a guy that's going to come in there, help stop the run, also push the pocket as well. They signed Larry Ogunjobi. I believe he's going to make good, valuable snaps and good, valuable plays for this team. The only thing is with Larry Ogunjobi is injuries, and that was a talking point with Tyson Lau when they first signed him. How would he look with this team? We'd be able to resurrect his career. When I look at Larry Ogunjobi, he has a similar build and similar story, and he should get a lot of one-on-one opportunities with Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt on the outside, and with Cameron Hayward playing alongside him as well, and with him being able to switch in and out with Keanu Benton. The linebacker position, I like Cole Holcomb, has struggled with injuries, but he's a good linebacker from the Washington Commanders. He was a captain on that team, led the team and tackles, and he's very good against the pass as well. Miles Jack was a very good linebacker for the team at times, but he struggled also at times as well against the pass. He wasn't a complete linebacker. Cole Holcomb is more of a complete linebacker than Miles Jack. And they have a Landon Roberts as well. Is not an athletic linebacker by any means, but can come out there and be a good veteran at the linebacker position. Now, the secondary is what bothers me. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best safety in football. I like having DeMonte Casey as well. Patrick Peterson is a good corner. He's a good veteran corner to have, but he is older. How will he hold up against covering guys like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and also Rashad Bateman? How will you hold up playing against those guys? Because that's tough competition. Same with Amari Cooper. I believe that Joey Porter Jr. is going to come in, and I believe that he will eventually end up being the number one corner for his team some point next season. I like Patrick Peterson a lot, but he is not the same corner he was for the Arizona Cardinals a couple years ago, and he was a bright spot on a bad Vikings defense. He came up in the clutch, but he also had some plays that made me scratch my head. Didn't give up many touchdowns, but I don't know if he'll be able to just stick on these receivers in this division one-on-one, because these wide receivers are built different. I'm not saying that Patrick Peterson is washed. I'm not saying that he's a bad corner. I am just a bit concerned about how he's going to hold up against these type of wide receivers. I believe Joey Porter Jr. will take some time to get going, but eventually he's going to fit right into this system. He's what Mike Tomlin loves in the corner. Long, lanky, athletic. Did have some holding plays in college, but you take that away, he's a picture-perfect corner to have with this team for sure. So their defense could arguably be the best defense in this division. I understand the Cleveland Browns have Myles Garrett. He's also another great pass rusher. You have Zadarius Smith alongside him as well. But their defense was horrible last year underneath Joe Woods. They're bringing in a brand new defensive coordinator, so we will see. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have shown that they can beat the Cleveland Browns. I understand it was the last game of the season, but they still beat them, and they came out with more heart. And I do question Kevin Stefanski. So this team could be better than the Cleveland Browns if Deshaun Watson does not return to form, and if Kevin Stefanski continues to have questionable play calling as well. But when I look at them going against the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals, this team beat the Cincinnati Bengals last year in week 1. The defense ran hectic. The defense ran wild. Trubisky was horrible in the game, but yet they still found a way to win. You can say it was a fluky win. They still found a way to win. And the second game that they lost, Kenny Pickett and crew looked very good offensively in the first half. But the second half, Matt Canada led this team out to dry. He did not execute a good game plan in the second half. He did not adjust, and Kenny Pickett didn't play good in the second half at all. And the defense was just gassed. They were getting ran over, and they were just tired. So in the second half, they collapsed. But they stuck in there, and they put 30 points in the Bengals defense. I believe that they can compete very steadily with the Bengals in their division for sure. Now, the Baltimore Ravens is very interesting. Lamar Jackson always struggles against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers are always a good matchup. You look at it from last season. It was late in the game. Kenny Pickett comes out, makes an amazing throw to Najee Harris in the back of the end zone. We need to see more of those plays come from Kenny Pickett. And he needs to continue to play better and recognize the blitz in certain zone coverages. That is what happened late in the season. First half of the season, he could not tell the blitzes. That's why he got knocked out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, and he got hurt in the first Baltimore Ravens game that the Pittsburgh Steelers barely lost, basically due to Mr. Trubisky and his turnover problems. If Kenny Pickett does play in that game, they possibly sweep the Baltimore Ravens. So Kenny Pickett is valuable to this team, but he just needs to continue to build off of what he did on the back half of last season. I believe that this team will be good. But I believe that they match up with every team in this division very well. With the Cincinnati Bengals losing their 2 starting safeties, we will see. It should be time for guys like Deontay Johnson and George Pickens to be unleashed. And that comes over to the offense. Just how I have my concerns about the secondary, I have more concerns about the offense. And it's not because of the players. The offense coordinator, Matt Canada. If you listen to his channel for quite some time, you know I'm not the biggest Matt Canada guy. Back half of last season, the play calling was better. But there was still a lot of questionable decisions. He needs to come up with a better game plan to stretch the field, whether it's getting the ball to George Pickens more or Deontay Johnson. Now, I understand last season Deontay Johnson had 0 receiving touchdowns, but he got better at catching the football. They need to throw the ball to him more, especially when it's going deep. Same with George Pickens. I believe George Pickens by the end of next season will be the true number 1 wide receiver for this team. He ended the season with 801 yards and 4 touchdowns and 15 yards a catch. Mike Tomlin needs a game plan with Matt Canada to get that kid the ball more. Same with Pat Freiermuth. When he is healthy, he's a very good, valuable option for Kenny Pickett. He had a long play against the Atlanta Falcons last season, and he almost broke it off for a touchdown play, and he has 732 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have good pieces offensively. They just need to gel it together with the coaching staff. And you look at Najee Harris. Very good running back. 1,034 rushing yards last season and 7 touchdowns. But he did have his concerns early in the season. It wasn't pretty because the offensive line was not good early in the season. And the offensive line has not been consistently good since guys like David DeCastro, the Maurice Pouncey at the center position, and Andrew Villanueva departed this team. But they went in this offseason with a point of attack, and they said, we're going to get this offensive line right. They brought in Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. He was my number 1 tackle on the board. I love that pick. He is raw at times, but was an excellent protector at Georgia. And I believe he's going to be a stonewall tackle and a franchise tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Getting Isaac, the guard from the Philadelphia Eagles, is also good as well. He's a guy that's going to come in and be a role ready for this team. One of the best running guards in all of football, especially at left guard position. I like Mason Cole at the center position. And you still have James Daniels at the right guard position. Very good, solid guard. And when his motor is on, it is on. You just have to keep him on in the game. He's a good protector as well. And Big Chucks has his times where he struggles, especially against pass rushers. But he is solid. He isn't horrible. He's a way better tackle than Dan Moore Jr. So it gives Kenny Pickett good protection. And that's the thing. When Kenny Pickett had a good pocket, he made good reads. When the blitz came in certain zone coverages, when the blitz was coming off the left side in certain zone coverages packages, that's when we saw Kenny Pickett just look like a deer in headlights. If they can protect Kenny Pickett and he can make the right reads, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have an actual shot to contend to win this division. Because like I said earlier in the video, for whatever reason, Mike Tomlin is allergic to having a losing season. This team is going to always be a contender to make a deep run to win this division or just be at the top of this division because of the way they're coached and their game plan philosophy. And we know this about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They want to run the football and stop the run. And I also want to mention Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren played a valuable part to this team last season. Najee Harris was the guy that got you the tough, gritty yards. But Jaylen Warren came in and averaged 5 yards a carry, 379 rushing yards only. But they need to give him the football more. That was on 77 carries. He can also catch the football at the backfield. I expect to see more of him in this upcoming season as well. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the pieces. I'm not saying that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. It all comes down to, can Kenny Pickett perform? I know they have some doubters, but just give them time and see. But if they can get the quarterback position right, and they can get the play calling right on the offensive end, this could be a scary team to look out for in the AFC North. I think that just because they have one of the best coaches in this division, he's a better coach than Kevin Stefanski. I have my questions about Harbaugh throughout the entire season. The team starts off very hot, then they fizzle out with that run game. I think that Mike Tomlin has the team they always wanted, and he has the quarterback now that can go out there and be a game manager and just get this team through some growing pains. But let me know in the comment section below. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers the worst team in the AFC North? And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.